Amy had always dreamed of having her own apartment. When she managed to find a small but cozy option in an old house, she was delighted. High ceilings, large windows, quiet neighbors, the perfect place to start a new life. After packing her things and settling in, she felt surprisingly calm. Everything seemed ordinary. Even the peeling wallpaper in the hallway and creaking floorboards gave the apartment a special charm. But already on the first night she heard it. At first she decided that it was just noise from neighboring apartments. Old houses are always full of strange sounds. But when she woke up in the middle of the night, the room was absolutely silent. Except for one sound. There was a rustling sound coming from the closet. Amy froze, listening, as if someone was carefully moving inside. Soft, barely audible movements, like fingers sliding along wood. She held her breath. The closet was empty. She hadn't had time to unpack yet. Something touched the inside of the closet door. Amy pressed herself into the bed, clutching the blanket. She wanted to get up and open it, to prove to herself that there was nothing there. But she couldn't. She lay there, waiting for the sounds to stop. When morning came, she slowly walked up to the closet. The door was closed. But on the inside, right in the wood, there were scratches. Amy couldn't get the incident out of her head. She tried to convince herself that it was just her imagination, that the old closet might be drying out, making a cracking sound. Maybe there were mice in the wall. But every night the sounds were the same. Sometimes it was a soft rustling sound, sometimes it was a soft scraping sound like someone was running their nails along the wood. Sometimes she heard muffled breathing. On the fourth night, she couldn't take it anymore. She got out of bed, went to the closet, and froze in front of the door. The sound stopped. Amy carefully pulled the handle and swung the closet open. Someone was standing inside. A tall figure bent over to fit inside. The clothes looked faded, almost merging with the darkness. But what scared her most was that this person didn't notice her. He just stood there, staring at the wall. Amy froze, feeling her heart pounding in her chest. She couldn't figure out who it was. She didn't recognize this person. But something about his posture, the way his hands moved slowly, as if touching invisible surfaces, was terrifying. Her breathing was ragged, her fingers trembled. And then he shook his head slowly, as if listening. Amy slammed the closet shut and stepped back. She spent the night awake, staring at the door. The next morning she convinced herself it was just sleep paralysis, a trick of the light, tension. She didn't look in the closet, but every night the sounds grew louder. And after a few days she noticed that the closet door was slightly open, and the figure inside was closer to the exit. Amy couldn't sleep anymore. She tried to convince herself that she was just imagining the figure inside the closet getting closer, but every morning the door was slightly more open, and the figure inside was even closer. She started locking the closet, but the next morning the key was on the floor, and the door was just as open as before. On the sixth night she heard footsteps. Not in the closet, in the room. She froze, feeling a chill run down her spine. Someone was standing next to her bed. Amy didn't dare open her eyes. She could feel them. Silence. Her breathing became shallow, her heart pounded in her ears. Something leaned over her. She felt the air move, the faint smell of dampness and something musty. And then she heard a whisper. "Now you." The world went dark. The next morning the apartment was empty. Amy was gone, but the closet was open. And if anyone got too close, they might see two hands sticking out of the darkness and a figure standing inside. Standing exactly like the one who had been there before. Now she waited.